Hello, everybody. It's Mike Young from aPlantBasedDiet.org, and I am doing this video a little bit later in the day than I normally do for live videos. It's right now. It's about 2:50 in the afternoon Eastern time. If my clock is right, anyway. So we're getting there in the afternoon, but it's been a busy weekend. It's been a really busy weekend. You guys may have seen Dr. Nandi Desai. We did a live stream with her. We did it. It's on the channel here, VeganVideos.info or aPlantBasedDiet.org. Just go there. Check out the most recent live stream. She's on there. She did an amazing video about cancer. So if you saw that, comment below. I don't know, do a hashtag cancer sucks or something like that, because it does. And the thing you need to know, if you haven't seen that video or don't know anything about cancer, because it seems like a mystery to you, is most cancer is really, I'd say, preventable and likely reversible. You know, that's just the truth. The world out there doesn't want to make it seem that way, but if you watch that video by Dr. Nandi Desai about conquering cancer, is what it's called, conquering cancer. It's also on the Green Fair Organic Cafe Facebook page, because we did it live from Green Fair Organic Cafe, so that was good. So that was a very busy weekend, because I think it was a very powerful talk. Anybody can understand how she explains it, and she basically talks about how it's a lifestyle disease, and you know it's when you look at it, understanding through lifestyle medicine, then you kind of understand what causes it and what to do and what not to do, that kind of thing. So we did that. The other thing, I actually put this out today, I made the announcement officially anyway, is that our very next VegFest, annual VegFest, because we're doing about 15 or so in the next year. If you want the calendar, go to VeganVideos.info or aPlantBasedDiet.org. Either one takes you to our nonprofit calendar. But Wake Forest VegFest, Sunday, November 3rd, we're going to have Nelson Campbell there from Plant Pure Nation. And if you look us up on the social media we put out this morning, you will find a link to watch Plant Pure Nation for free on our YouTube channel, which is, you know what it is, it's VeganVideos.info or aPlantBasedDiet.info. Either one, search up the channel, you'll find Plant Pure Nation for free there. So watch the movie and then join us at Wake Forest VegFest on Sunday, November 3rd. And we're also doing Q&A, as I normally do. Q&A, anybody out there's got a question, if you're in a Facebook group watching us, I'm not going to be able to see your question as normal. That's just the way it works. But go to VeganVideos.info and type your questions there. Okay? Type them there, and I will get them. They'll appear on this little compilation I have of people typing things. But be sure to give us a thumbs up, hit the heart button or whatever, and say hi. Say you're there. Any questions you have. Doesn't need to be about ditching dairy, because that's what this video is about. It's actually more about me ditching dairy, but it's about the gains you get personally when you get rid of dairy. Because for a lot of us, if you're vegan now, or even if you're not, typically I'd say most people on the path to becoming vegan first become vegetarian. All right, so there are large gains to be made just by going from eating all animal products to limiting yourself and being vegetarian. Now, what does vegetarian mean? It basically means that you're not going to eat any animal muscle or meat. It includes fish, because fish is animal muscle, chicken, animal muscle, pigs are animal muscle, cows, lamb, whatever, you name it. Okay? It's all animal muscle. So dairy is what's left if you're vegetarian, and that's what vegan used to be called, okay, back in the day when almost nobody was vegan. But nowadays, you know, it's vegan, but people used to be vegetarian. That meant that they would keep the dairy products. And dairy products is anything made from animal milk. It's usually cow's milk. It could be made from goat's milk, anything. You know, it could be cheese, milk, ice cream, I think butter, right? Any of these things are all animal products. So I was vegetarian for a long time. I'd say well, let's see. Let's go back in time. I'd say that I discovered that I was vegetarian in 2000, let's see, now I'd say there wasn't an exact date, so maybe it wasn't that, I wasn't vegetarian that long. I'd say maybe 2010 I realized that I was vegetarian. I think the reason I realized is because I just realized at some point that I wasn't buying any meat to cook on my own where I was living, and just never felt any need to do that. And I seem to be fine. And that kind of got me looking more into my health, because if you looked at my story, the video about my story, we did not talk about this in the video about my story. That's why I'm making a separate video about it. I cut away most animal meats, I'd say, or red meat, butter, actually red meat, butter, cheese, all those other things. But I still had ice cream. I gave up ice cream, cheese, butter, but I was still having like yogurts and milks. I'd say I was having those a lot. That was still making up a considerable part of my diet. And it wasn't until about 2010 that I realized, well, I'm not eating animal products anymore, or meats, but I was still eating those. Yogurt was a very big part of my diet. Milk, cow's milk, was a very big part of my diet. I couldn't understand why I would want to change that. It didn't matter at the time for me in 2010. It just didn't matter. But I will also tell you that in the year 2010, and this is kind of what I'm getting to at my video, there were a lot of things that were, I thought, genetic, that were not really necessarily wrong with me. I didn't think there was anything wrong with me, actually. Everybody has their issues, right? But there were a lot of things that actually cleared up when I decided to go vegan in 2014, about 4 years later. So actually I've been vegan for 5 years, over 5 years. I've now been vegan longer than I was vegetarian. All right, well, let me also add one thing from Dr. Saw's video from yesterday. And other people like James Aspey have mentioned this. Well, James Aspey mentions karma. So when you give up dairy, you're giving up karma. Do you believe in karma? Let me know in the comments. Say yes, I believe in karma, or no, it's a bunch of BS. Whatever you want to say, it doesn't make any difference to me. I just want to know. Because if you believe in karma, if you're doing something where you're knowingly hurting an animal or other creature, other being, other sentient being, then that's going to come back to get you if you believe in karma. So eating animals, or any animal product for that matter, because dairy is very violent towards animals, stealing babies, raping animals, that's part of the dairy. That's part of dairy. That just is. So the karma is going to come back to get you. I don't know if you ever thought about that or not, but that's one of the things that you gain, is you gain good karma, even when you're going from vegetarian to vegan, because that's what we're talking about in this video, vegetarian to vegan. Another thing that Dr. Saw mentioned yesterday, which I've heard of before, is the another type of karma, because we're talking about, stealing babies and raping animals. That is going to hurt them on a certain psychological level, right? What about on a chemical level in the body? And actually, those make harm on a chemical level too. I don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments. But on a chemical level in these animals' bodies, adrenaline is released when they are feeling, overwhelmed, or, in almost all cases, the conditions that these animals live in is very poor. I think almost everyone recognizes that, even animal product eaters. And those conditions, being very, very poor, crammed into very little space, barely being able to move, walking and stepping and sleeping and poop and pee and everything, it's going to create the body to create adrenaline. It's an extreme circumstance. It's not just like I had a bad day, okay? It's like every day for them is bad. There's adrenaline constantly surging through the body, especially right before it's about to be killed, because they will know it. They just know it. These are sentient beings. So they know that they're going to be killed. That adrenaline is running through their bodies. And then you eat either the dairy product from that body, what was rushing with adrenaline, or you eat the meat. And that's going to get you, it's another form of karma. I'd say it's actually not just a karma, because I think karma is a lot of times something a universal force, right? Karma. But this is more like a chemical, biological force. Like you're changing your own body chemistry because you are consuming some altered, unbalanced chemistry of another being. Okay, so this is a whole other level. I wasn't even planning on talking about all this in this video, because I've been thinking about making this video for a while. But these are just new things that have popped up in my mind while I was thinking about this. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Now let's get to the benefits for me. I actually made a list of them because there were so many. I didn't want to forget any. So these benefits, these gains happened for me when I stopped being vegetarian and started being vegan, which means I cut out, for me, this was just yogurt and milk, cow's milk. yogurt made from cow's milk and cow's milk itself. I used to have a lot of chocolate milk, okay, made from cow's milk. It was all made from cow's milk, and that was the problem. Now, what were the issues that cleared up? First of all, I had years and years of issues. I just talked about this with somebody just on Saturday, actually at the race that we ran, the 5K, that of wax buildup in my ears. Anybody ever have wax buildup in their ears? You can't raise your hand, but give me a comment, give me a like, say yes, I have wax buildup, something like that in the comments. Like I said, if you are commenting in a group, I'm not going to see it, so go over to VeganVideos.info. And I had a major problem with that. I mean, I used to have to go on a regular basis. I was always using Q-tips. I was trying to put hydrogen peroxide in my ears, laying on the side, pouring in, letting it sit, dump it out. Dell, hey, how's it going? Dell, I guess you're at work, right? Yeah. Anyway, the problem with my ears was that the wax buildup just kept happening. It seemed like it was never ending. If I wasn't regularly cleaning out my wax from my ears, it was falling out occasionally, or I'd lose my hearing. I mean, it basically like putting in an earplug in my ear. And this went on for decades as an adult. And I didn't recognize it early on, but then the more I recognized what was going on, hey, you're welcome, Dell. Hey, glad to hear that. Glad to hear it's going well. The more I recognized that this was an issue with wax in my ears, the more I realized the benefits that I would obtain by keeping my ears cleaned out from wax, because it affects your balance. Of course it affects your hearing, even though men have selective hearing. We all know that. But it was affecting other things too. I'd say just your general state of well-being, because these ear canals I don't think are designed to be full of wax on a regular and continual basis. That's just my own thinking. If you guys know any more about this, let me know in the comments. But I mean, literally, I would have to go, I'd say, even with all my cleaning and taking care as much as I could, I just felt like this was genetic. I guess, oh gosh, I inherited this from my parents. And because I know that, I mean, it seems like people that I know, I talk to them, oh yeah, I get wax, but maybe not that bad, Mike, but we get it, we understand. So occasionally, I'd say about once a year, maybe once every 2 years, even with the cleaning, it got so much built up, I'd have to go in and actually make an appointment at the doctor's office and have somebody with a ear bulb and hydrogen peroxide just flush it all out and use a syringe and all this other stuff. It was crazy. Okay, stuff I couldn't do at home. You can't do that to yourself. You can only do the best you can. You can lay your head down on a pillow. You can fill it with hydrogen peroxide over here, and then just wait and wait and wait, because there's no swishing action. I can't really see what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'll splash hydrogen peroxide all over me. But that was my life, okay? Until I gave up dairy. And then I realized that after giving up dairy, all of this stuff went away, okay? The earwax started to slowly, the buildup of earwax was slowing down and slowing down to the point where now, I mean, let me put this into perspective. I'd say that on a daily basis, all right, what I used to have to do, because my wax buildup was such a regular thing, is the minute I'd get out of a hot shower, that's when the wax is going to be most liquid, right? The minute I got out of a hot shower, I would use usually 3 front and back Q-tips per ear to swab out the wax that had been building up on the insides of my ear canal. Okay? Every single day, it was that bad. And like I said, it would still continue to get worse to the point where I had to go to the doctor on a regular basis. But now, I guess I still find it hard to believe that I don't have this problem, because literally the problem has gone away. I've never gone to the doctor to get my ears cleaned out in the last 5 years of being a vegan, and I don't think I ever will have to. Because what I just do, I guess it's out of habit, is like the minute I get out of the hot shower, the best time to do it, I will take one Q-tip and take one end and swab this ear, and the other end and swab this ear. So we went from one Q-tip, we went from 6 Q-tips, because 3 each ear, to 1 for both ears. And I don't even really need to do this. I'm telling you, I don't even need to do it anymore. Does anybody out there have problems with earwax that's not vegan? Let me know. If you are vegan, did it go away? Let me know. Write stuff in the comments. Even if you're not watching this video live, you still write something in the comments. Get the conversation going, because I think this is a very, very underreported benefit of ditching dairy. It's a big gain as far as I'm concerned. I mean, for me, like I said, it affects your balance, it affects your hearing, it affects your general state of well-being, your general feeling well or not. When you got crap lining your ears, you don't feel well. You don't know why. You don't even know why. Okay, once I figured out as an adult that I knew that that was making me not feel right, that's when I started going to the doctor on a regular basis and getting them cleaned out. You know, it's not like someone was forcing me to. I just didn't feel right. So, all right, another benefit. That's a huge benefit as far as I'm concerned. That's huge because, like I said, I thought that was genetic, and I don't think it's genetic at all. I think it's dairy, cow, animal product, milk is the problem. All right, wax my ears, my tongue. My tongue. I used to have, if I didn't, and this was just 5 years ago, okay? If I didn't religiously brush that tongue all the time, and it took forever to clean it, it was a constant buildup of white stuff on my tongue. Thick, heavy white stuff. And my breath, okay? If I wasn't constantly brushing off and scraping that off constantly, multiple times a day, my breath would get bad. I would have to take gum because my breath would get bad. And you know, my dad's breath was bad. Other people I know's breath was bad who were related to. And I thought, well, this is genetic, I guess. I just got the bad breath genes, you know? I would still clean off my tongue, but if I just didn't do it one time, man, the breath would be so bad. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about, okay, if you guys have had this before. But again, I will tell you that the minute I stopped drinking animal product milk, any kind of dairy products, you know, that was it. It just started to slowly clean itself up. The white stuff will come by every so often, but it's not like it was. It never smells like it did. It smelled awful before. Okay? I mean, yeah, you still need to do good oral hygiene. But just regular oral hygiene, you don't need to be like hyper vigilant about it, and it's not gonna ruin, you know, your whole tongue is not gonna be coated in immovable white stuff if you skip a time or two when you brush. Don't touch your tongue. That's definitely happened to me. If it's happened to you guys, let me know, because this is a huge benefit of going from vegetarian to vegan as far as I'm concerned. And while we're on the subject of smelliness, let's go to the feet. Okay, this is another thing. Okay, I know my dad's feet smell, or they did. I don't know if they smell anymore. It doesn't even matter to me, because I thought my own feet smelling bad was genetic. Okay, that's what I thought for the longest time. I thought, well, gosh. I mean, I feel like, you know, people say this a lot, and this is a bad analogy. I don't like to use it because of gun violence, but, you know, this is probably the most accurate analogy you can say is genetics loads the gun, lifestyle pulls the trigger. All right? This is true with your feet, with smelly feet, as far as I'm concerned. If you have smelly feet and you're not vegan, I would advise just going vegan. All right? I think that your smelly feet are going to clear up. Mine used to be awful. It wasn't just like mine were a little bit bad. They were terrible, and I still, to this day, okay, I still would much rather wear flip-flops anywhere I go, no matter what the temperature, than wear some kind of shoe that's going to enclose my foot, because my feet used to smell so bad, it just wasn't worth it, you know? I would get out of shoes as fast as I could, go barefoot all the time, and it was because of the smell buildup. It just made it exponentially worse. It would build up so much more rapidly, so I don't have a problem with that anymore. I still like to wear flip-flops a lot. I think it probably still is healthier for your feet. They get to breathe. I think that's probably a universal thing. But let me know. You guys have problems with smelly feet? Are you vegetarian? Are you vegan? Are you eating animal products? Let me know in the comments, even if you're watching this on the replay. Because that has totally gone away. Like I said, thought it was genetic, but it's not. All right. More smells. Your armpits. Okay? That's another area that really starts to smell. And I just felt like, you know, it's genetic. I am just a smelly person, because we've already gone through all this stuff. We've gone through the tongue, the bad breath, the smelly feet. Now we're on armpits. Okay, I just thought I was a smelly person. All right, Dell says, this is absolutely mind-blowing to learn this information about mouth and bad feet smells originated from dairy. How about armpit smell? Yeah, we're on that one, Dell. Armpit, yes. I used to have to take showers way more than the average person, I'd say, or I felt like I needed to, because I would start to smell. The smell would just, the further I was away from a shower, having had one in the past, the more I would start to smell so bad. So bad. It was almost like it was a build-up exponentially of the smells, especially under your arms. And that changed I can tell you that changed when I ditched the dairy. Okay, it slowly but surely went away, and now, yeah, I will smell, and actually I did smell a little bit bad on Saturday after I ran this ridiculously tough race. Okay, I don't usually smell this bad after 5Ks, but it was one of the most difficult races I've ever run as a 5K. Okay, so I guess that was, it's okay. Anyway, it still would have been so much worse. And I don't need to use. Here's the other thing. Here, yeah, Dell mentions organic products for armpits. Okay, that's a good question, Dell, because if you smell bad, if you really smell bad and it builds up really quickly, is that right, Denise? If Denise is watching it, is that quick or quickly? I still don't have that one down. But if you build up a smell, you got to use some powerful deodorant and antiperspirant, right? You really do. And I noticed that as I became vegetarian, I was no longer needing to use antiperspirants, for one, which are really bad because they block the production of sweat, which is a natural occurrence with all kinds of chemicals. But then you also don't need to use any of the other chemicals for odor covering up because there really is very little odor. All right, so some of the organic deodorants, yes, they don't work the same. I will tell you, I know this for a fact. I've been in this whole spectrum of whether I was eating animal products or dairy or no dairy, vegetarian, vegan. And the non-chemical deodorants don't work as well, just like a lot of non-chemical things don't work as well that have a specific purpose, all right? But overall, you're better by not using the chemical products. You as a human are better for not using the chemicals almost every single time. So which one's good? I use one called Forest, I think. I should have it with me. I should have brought it with me. It's called Forest by Urban Cowboy. Forest by Urban Cowboy, not U-R-B-A-N. It's H-E-R-B-A-N. And it is not super powerful. Don't expect me to think it's powerful. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't give me any rashes or anything, all right? Like some of these things do, a lot of the chemical ones. But I don't need anything that's going to be really potent or powerful. I don't need that anymore, all right? So I don't need to use powerful chemicals under my arm. So you notice that as you start to get into a better and better lifestyle, you just get exponentially better. And of course, with that conquering cancer video that we had yesterday, I mean, a lot of these things that you stick under your arms may end up causing you cancer. You're always putting them on. They're always there, right? Always. And they're constantly being absorbed in your skin. So that anything you can take away chemically from that part of your lifestyle, the better off you're going to be. I can't say exactly how or what, but I can say that you're going to be better off. You are. And I don't have any scientific proof, but I don't need any. Because all these chemicals are for the benefit of, like, labor-saving devices. These chemicals are not for the benefit of your body. They have way too many negative side effects. So let me see, Dell. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking at my little. There we go. Now I can see. Okay. Okay. And Dell also asks which ones won't stain under white shirts. Now I don't know. But mine doesn't. It's almost like a clear deodorant. The Forest by Urban, H-E-R-B-A-N, Cowboy. I think that's what it is. Yeah. I don't ever have any issues staining. And I think the staining results from the non-natural components. That's what I think. Unless it's color to begin with. Unless it's like beets. It uses beets. They're going to stain your clothes. Okay, Dell says, I saw a French news video talking about aluminum in deodorant. Yeah, for sure. That may be a contributor in some people that causes cancer. Yeah, aluminum may cause cancer. It's being constantly absorbed into your skin. Your skin is the largest organ in your body. All right, let me fix this. Get it a little straight here. So anytime you can avoid absorbing chemicals or things that you suspect are going to cause you harm, you should just avoid it altogether. And like I said, if you're living the standard American lifestyle, standard American diet, if you're eating animal products, you're probably going to smell. You're probably going to stink. Okay? You probably are. So you're probably going to need to use that stuff. It just makes an avalanche of bad habits, avalanche of health problems. You wonder why everyone's getting cancer all the time? Well, look what I just explained to you. If you're eating the wrong food, you have no choice but to douse yourself in these powerful chemicals under your arms, your feet. I used to be spraying all kinds of stuff in my shoes, by the way. Okay, all kinds of like Febreze. I don't know, who knows what kind of chemicals are in that. I don't even know. I've heard it kills dogs years ago. People said that. But I don't use that stuff in my shoes anymore. I don't need to spray my shoes with anything. Okay? Not to say, like, I'm not saying they smell like roses, but there's no more necessity to make things tolerable that you have to douse everything in chemicals and unnatural, powerful products. And if they're very powerful like that, what do you think they're doing to you internally? They're probably harming you in a powerful way as well. All right, so we talked about my ears, my mouth, bad breath, my feet down there, my armpits in here. There's one more area I haven't talked about yet that tends to smell a lot. It's your poop, right? Yes, okay? And I can say that my shit don't stink, all right? It doesn't. Well, if it does, well, let's just say, it doesn't in relation to the way it used to smell. It used to smell awful, okay? And you know who I'm talking about. You walk into the bathroom after somebody just leaves, you know what the smell I'm talking about? That smell isn't there anymore. I mean, yeah, you might smell a little something, but you wouldn't necessarily, it's not some offensive, putrid, rancid smell that people's shit usually is, okay? You smell an outhouse when you go in there. I doubt that these awful smelling outhouses are being pooped only by vegans, okay? If they were, I have a feeling there would be a different smell. But that is a big deal, and even farts don't stink like they used to. Not to say that they're totally non-odor, okay? Because if you eat nothing but beans for 2 or 3 days, you may have some odor in there, okay? But if you're just living a normal, non-animal product consuming lifestyle, and this again, I'm talking about dairy. This video specifically is discussing the change of vegetarian to vegan and ditching dairy. Just ditching dairy is what did it for me, okay? I mean, I had ditched a lot of stuff before that, and I was eating clean, but the dairy just made a huge, huge difference. It may not have made the only difference, but it made the biggest difference to me. So who out there is vegan and used to be vegan or used to be vegetarian or used to be whatever, who's changed in between all these, eating animal products, eating standard American diet? Let me know in the comments. I want to find out, because this isn't really talked about all that much, but it is probably, to me, one of the best personal benefits of being vegan. I mean, yeah, I'm hopefully will never have any serious medical problems, because not only am I vegan, but eating almost exclusively organic whole plants, that's going to help even more. Okay, that's a great benefit, but that's not the subject of this video. This is just a flat out personal benefit. It's not medical. And maybe it is medical. Maybe it improves the processes in your body so much that your body rewards you by not smelling. And maybe the reason why it's smelling is to alert you that you're doing something wrong. Have you ever thought about that? Let me know in the comments about that. Because I do think that I'd say most things, most diseases, most non-trauma related medical emergencies of any kind, okay? Any kind of medical issue like this is your body telling you that you're doing something wrong, all right? Because the body is a machine. It likes to be used properly, not abused. When you're abusing your body, it's going to start complaining to you. It's got a built-in check systems all over the place, and it's got all these alerts that we just talked about, the smells it can send out, among other things. I mean, let's put it this way, constipation is a warning sign from your body, right? And dairy is, oh, yeah. Actually, I should say that. This is another one. I've always been very regular, but never as regular as I have since I gave up yogurt and cow's milk, became vegan over vegetarian, okay? Every single morning when I wake up now, every single morning, dairy is extremely constipating. And when you get constipated, that's not natural. Your body's trying to tell you that it's out of balance. You are abusing it in some way, and it's going to fight back to you until you start listening to your body in many ways. If you're constipated, you can imagine all the other medical symptoms that can result from being constipated, okay? Being backed up like that. Instead of your shit going out, it's backed up. And of course, if you're not vegan, it stinks too, okay? It smells really bad. Your shit smells really bad. It doesn't smell that bad if you're vegan. You can only imagine the kind of damage you're doing. So, in thinking out loud while I'm making this video, I feel like dairy we've talked about dairy, right? The dairy industry is stealing babies and raping female cows. All right? That's the dairy industry. A baby that they carried for, like, this is almost as long as a human baby. They know what happened. They're incredibly upset and don't get over that for a long time, if ever. Okay? If you watch someone steal your own baby, I can't even imagine. But in addition to all that abuse that happens on the animal side, I do think that dairy products are abuse to the human body. I mean, if you think about all this stuff I'm talking about right now, because most of the time the focus is just on the cancer side, right? Okay, T. Colin Campbell from the China study says that cow's milk protein, casein, causes cancer, and he may be right. He's probably right. And you know, we talk about all this other animal protein causing cancer. We talk about all the other flesh, not just flesh, but animal muscle meats like cow, lamb, pork, fish, all these animal muscle meats, chicken, they all clog you up internally to where you develop cardiovascular disease. You know, but we don't talk about just the general idea that if I had all these issues that I just named to you, okay, I can't even remember them all. It was like 5 or 6 of them. That's why I wrote them down. There's so many benefits to getting rid of dairy. I feel like I was abusing myself, you know, by consuming dairy. And as I've mentioned, I feel like the human body is very intelligent. It's probably the most sophisticated machine out there. And when things aren't right, that's when you go to the doctor, when you have to go to the doctor for some symptom that's not the result of a car accident or something like that. Okay, I'm not talking about things like that. I'm talking about just about anything else though. When you go to the doctor, your body is throwing off a code or something like that, like your cars do. They throw off a code. And it's the same thing in cars, actually, because the code doesn't tell you what's wrong. You ever know how these codes work, these diagnostic codes on OBD2 and everything? The codes don't tell you what's wrong. They tell you what's affected by what's actually wrong. All right? Does that make sense? Say yes in the comments if it makes sense. So even the machines don't tell you. You have to diagnose properly, and you know, you have to deal with the root source, the root cause of what's going on, and that's what we talked about in this Conquering Cancer video yesterday. The root cause, and that's what's lacking from medicine today, in almost all forms. Unfortunately, it really is. That's why lifestyle medicine is the solution to this, and that's why we're starting another nonprofit that's based exclusively in lifestyle medicine, because that's where the focus needs to be on determining. Not trying to fix what's affected by what's wrong, because that's the way the system is set up right now. All the incentives are there to fix, to attempt to fix what's affected by what's actually wrong, not to track down what's actually wrong and deal with that. So dairy, you know, all these signs, earwax, smelly breath, smelly feet, you know, white stuff on my tongue, smelly armpits. What was the other one? I don't even remember them all now. I think it wasn't even on my list. I just added it later. But these are all like codes or warnings. But it's not. Those aren't the things that are wrong. You see, those aren't the things that are wrong. Those aren't genetic. Now, we all are genetically predisposed to some things, and maybe I'm just more affected more easily by the negative side effects of consuming dairy, but I know I'm not the only one. And even if you don't have these major side effects that I do, you have these side effects probably just in lesser form, or maybe of other ones. Oh yeah, our shit doesn't stink. And there was another one too. I can't remember what that last one was. I'm gonna have to review this video now to remember what it was. I'm gonna have to add to my list so I have them all. So I already gave you 5. There's 6 of them. I can't remember what the last one was. And of course, we talked about adrenaline and karma earlier in the video. And let's see. Oh, Dell has listed a YouTube link here about aluminum with deodorants and what it can do. Studies show. Dell, where are you watching this? On Facebook? Are you watching this on my personal timeline? You might be. But I'll try to actually, my personal timeline is public, so if anybody wants that link, just go over to my personal timeline. You can follow me while you're there if you want. Mike Young, and Dell has put the link up there. So let me see what he says below that. Going through my list. Can cause, okay, aluminum in the case of deodorant can cause dementia. Okay. I don't know. And much of what I talk about, I am not approaching this from reading scientific studies point of view. I'm just approaching this from the point of view of logic and conclusions that you can draw based on how other things affect you. And that very well may be some issues there. But whether it's right or wrong that aluminum causes dementia, first of all, you should try not to cook in any aluminum pots and pans. That's one big source of aluminum. The other big source is your deodorant. Okay, don't use deodorants that have aluminum. Use all organic stuff, truly. And if that means that you're still going to smell, you know what? Go vegan, okay? Because if you go vegan, I'm telling you from my personal experience, all that crap, all that smell will just go away. It will just completely go away. And actually not completely. I say from a percentage level, you might be down to 2% instead of 98% that you were at previously. Oh, it's on Facebook. Okay, thank you, Del. So I even if you're not vegan, if you're concerned about aluminum hurting you, then you should go vegan, because that's the only way you're effectively going to be able to deodorize your armpits with organic deodorants that don't work as well. We're not here to tell you some lie that the organic anything works as well at combating odor, okay? Because there's some kind of chemical processes going on there that we don't want in our bodies. And yeah, it probably is more effective than some kind of natural means. But if you're also living the right lifestyle and not abusing your body through eating, you probably don't ever need to use that chemical stuff anyway, okay? That's what you got to remember. And maybe we'll do a video on that, on just general balance in the body, not abusing the body. But let me know what you guys think. I'm going to wrap this video up here. It's about almost 3:30 Eastern time. And before I go, again, I got the shirt on. This is the Southwest Florida VegFest, our biggest event with people we fly in from all around the world. Biggest names in Bonita Springs, February 16th. I got to fix my focus. February 16th, 2020. And then our next event is Wake Forest VegFest. Remember, with Nelson Campbell from Plant Pure and the movie Plant Pure Nation, you can watch on our YouTube channel at VeganVideos.info. Go to VeganEvents.info to find our calendar, because I just went through it today and I posted it on a few things on social media. We're going to have like 15 annual events in the next 365 days. Or actually 365? No. We're going to have 15 starting with the event on November 3rd. That is the start of our festival season as far as I'm concerned. And then it goes for a year around that. And we're going to have so many new things at our festival. We're going to have another big announcement. Okay, I can tell you this. For Wake Forest VegFest, it's going to be big. So go over to our calendar at VeganEvents.info. RSVP for Wake Forest VegFest. You can either RSVP on Facebook or Eventbrite. So if you're on Eventbrite, just go to Eventbrite, actually. If you're not on Facebook, just go there. Type in Wake Forest VegFest. VegFest is 2 words. Wake Forest is 2 words. RSVP, and that'll get you notifications to the other big announcement that we're going to have for Wake Forest VegFest. That is about it. It's 3:30 in the afternoon here, Eastern Time. So look forward to reading your comments. Be sure to leave me more comments. Keep the discussion going. And we'll see you in the next video for people, animals, and our planet. Bye.